Hi, welcome to Splash and Go. Nate Ryan here with Steve Wittard, and Stevie, NASCAR heading to Michigan this weekend, and a Michigan native, Erik Jones, comes in as maybe the hottest driver in NASCAR. 4 straight top 5s. Still doesn't know if he's going to return at Joe Gibbs Racing next year, but is he putting the team in a position with this hot streak essentially to give him an extension?
Well, he's definitely putting the pressure on the decision makers. The unfortunate part and the unpopular part is that the business of NASCAR is going to decide who drives the 20, not the driver of the 20. Look, the fans don't want to hear this, but the business decides who's in a lot of the F1 cars, a lot of the Indy cars, a lot of all the different series of NASCAR. I could argue some dirt cars. That is racing around the world now. When I was a young kid, there was, I don't know how many, 400, 500, 600 professional race car drivers. Now there are 100, 200, 300 professional race car drivers, and a lot of people that are very good race car drivers, much better than me, and very good businessmen, or very good marketers, and they've been able to raise the funds to put themselves in that car. Is Erik Jones a great race car driver? Yes. Is he a top 20 race car driver in the Cup Series? He is. So will he be in the 20? I don't know. But he's definitely putting stress on the people that have to make the decision. It would have been way easier to make this business decision if the car wasn't running so well.
Right. Well, another driver who could be affected by what happens with Erik Jones, Matt DiBenedetto, 6th at Watkins Glen, now 3 top 10s in his last 5 races. After the Glen, he said, hey, I'm essentially just fighting for my life, for my career here. I mean, he knows that it's not a certainty that he could return to Levine Family Racing next year. What do you think about his performance under duress, knowing that it's widely known that he is not assured of returning this ride next year? He's putting together some really good numbers.
New name, same story. Really the same as Erik Jones. Now, what the difference, I think, for Erik Jones and Matt DiBenedetto, let's talk about this. Erik Jones is going to be somewhere.
Right.
Just will he be in the 20? Months ago, I'm not sure there was confidence you could say, well, Matty D is going to be somewhere. I don't know. After his performance, I'm willing to say yes. I think there are other drivers. Forget Toyota. Forget the Toyota Gibbs organization, the camp, all of that. There are other drivers in the field that are probably making more than Matty D, don't have any more marketing ability than Matty D. They better be worried, because if I am in charge of one of these other organizations and I'm looking at potential drivers for next year, what Matt is doing in that 95, that is not a full-blown Gibbs car. If Erik Jones goes there, it will be a different type organization, I can assure you. That is not what the 78 had in Furniture Row, right? It has some alliances, but it is not full-blown. The owner has gone on Twitter and explained to all of us the situation. So my point is, what Matty D is doing may not save his job in the 95, but it may be a heck of a resume and job interview for another car in the garage area. Listen, if an owner called me and said, give me your thoughts versus a couple other guys, he would be probably at the top of the list.
And it wouldn't just be a lateral move or maybe even a step back to the 32 at Go Fast where he was before the 95.
I'm thinking the opposite. When I look at some 3- and 4-car organizations, there are some 3rd and 4th drivers that I feel, how about this? Take the highlight reel from Sonoma. Take the highlight reel from Watkins Glen. He's passing some pretty good race car drivers in well-funded equipment. If I saw that 95 drive away from me, I would start to ask myself, should I be concerned?
Right. Well, that's certainly going to turn some heads. Another driver who turned some heads last trip to Michigan, Joey Logano led more laps than anybody at this track before and winning the race in June. Heard some interesting comments, Steve, at Watkins Glen about how teams will come back differently. Chase Elliott said that the takeaway will be teams will build their cars differently for this race. Denny Hamlin said probably less downforce, less drag. How will teams prepare for Michigan after the dominance Joey Logano showed?
So there was a lot of guesswork heading to a lot of tracks for the first time when this rules package. Watkins Glen was no different. It's dramatically different. The race we saw at Michigan looks a lot more like Talladega than it does a Michigan race from a decade ago. Joey Logano drove it. It reminded me of Dale Jr. leading Talladega, kind of defending both lanes. So that was race 1. Everyone has videos, cameras, pictures of the 22 car and how it was built, the attitude on the racetrack, and I think everyone's going to go back smarter. The cars are going to be harder to drive because the faster you make them, the harder they are to drive, usually less downforce, less drag. I think there are different packages that the crew chiefs get to choose from. So I don't know how the racing will look different, but I'm confident it will look different. Not to mention, I hear they're spraying the sticky stuff on the racetrack that we saw was so successful at Pocono. Denny Hamlin gave it a thumbs up, and one of the reasons he was able to go to victory lane. So it's funny, but we're going back to a Michigan, and I'm not sure how much we learned from the first Michigan. So I'm going to tune in. It's going to be great from the booth, and I'm waiting to see. I would be shocked if someone could dominate the way Joey Logano did.
All right, well, we'll definitely have our eye on that. Last August, Kevin Harvick won this race at Michigan. He's a Stewart-Haas driver. We'll have another Stewart-Haas driver on Motor Mouths Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Thanks for watching Splash and Go.
Hey Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.